Hello, love. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If you're new here, first of all, welcome. My name is Sarah, and part-time I resell clothes on different platforms. On this video, though, I am focusing specifically on Poshmark and my sales in the month of April. I like to separate my sales from different platforms throughout the whole month to compare how different platforms are doing, and I think that's so important, specifically because we know that this past month or 2 months with Poshmark has been a little bit crazier than it typically has been. So I'm going to go through my sales. For reference, my previous month, in the month of March, I made about $630 worth of sales. I will go through all of my sales and then tell you how much I made in the month of April at the end. But it is definitely less, and we can all probably guess why. Now, I do have my computer here in front of me, so if you see me looking down for a moment, I'm just checking my notes, making sure that I have all of the correct information that I'm sharing with you. Now, the first thing to sell on Poshmark in the month of April was a pair of Loft pants. These I got from free inventory that I sourced through the Nextdoor app. I talk about this all the time, that I was so blessed to connect with this particular person who basically just offloaded their entire closet to me of everything that they're not wearing anymore. Anyways, this did sell for $22 to the buyer. The buyer did pay for all of the shipping. That gave me $17.60 of complete profit because it came from that free inventory. This Vince Camuto sparkly cowl neck dress came from a ThredUp rescue box. I had to think for a second. It did come from a ThredUp rescue box. This sold for $35 to the buyer. The buyer did pay for shipping. That gave me $28. I estimate that my cost of goods for that particular ThredUp box was about $2. So I got about $26 of profit from that piece alone. This Loft yellow skirt came from free inventory, of course. If you've been with me for a while, you know anytime you see Loft, it's pretty much from that free inventory. It sold for $19 to the buyer. The buyer did have a shipping discount. I believe this came from a Poshmark VA sale. So I have automatic discount sent or automatic offer sent through Poshmark VA, and this is one of the sales that came from that. That gave me $12.52 total of profit straight into my pocket that I can reinvest into inventory. I've also been looking at stocks and, of course, cryptocurrency that I've been reinvesting some of this money into as well. I do have a full-time job. I am a full-time assistant principal, so everything that I get through reselling is extra money that I'm trying to, reinvest in either further inventory or, like I said, stocks, to just put myself in a better position later in life. This American Eagle vintage sweater actually came from my boyfriend who was cleaning out his closet, and he just, gave me everything. He pretty much said, sell it, donate it, do whatever you gotta do, just get it out of the house. Of course, I took advantage and was selling it. This sold for $10 to the buyer. The buyer did pay for full shipping on this. This bundle of Loft t-shirts, AKA free inventory, sold on an offer to the buyer of $20, which gave me $16 of pure profit completely into my pocket, again, to reinvest. More Loft, more free inventory. This Loft flounce skirt sold to the buyer for $16. They did have a shipping discount from Poshmark VA. That gave me $11.08 of profit. This Loft white and red dress sold for $35 to the buyer. The buyer did pay for full shipping, so I had all of that profit, which was $28. This Marilyn Monroe robe, it was like a getting ready type robe. I can't think of what the name of that is right now, but it's like when you're doing makeup or whatever. It sold for $20 to the buyer. The buyer did pay for full shipping. This came from a ThredUp rescue box with approximately a $2 cost of goods. So that gave me $16 minus those cost of goods, $14 of profit. This Vince Camuto asymmetrical peplum blouse came from a ThredUp rescue box This sold for $14 with the shipping discount attached to it, which gave me $9.33 minus that $2 cost of goods, $7.33 of profit. This Tory Burch yellow tracksuit came from a flip haul, and that was the very first time I was trying out flip. Now I ended up buying out the inventory for $90. It was a whole bunch of jeans, I think it was a couple of shirts, and then this tracksuit. This sold for $123 to the buyer. There was a slight shipping discount, which gave me $96.88 of profit minus the $90 cost of goods. So essentially anything else that I sell from that lot is complete profit to me. Now I have gotten 3 more flip lots since then that of course I am going to show off for you guys. If you are interested in trying out flip, I of course do have my referral link down in the description. Please feel free to try it out, ask questions. I'm just learning about it as I go, but of course I'm going to share everything that I learn with you. This Lemongrass suede jacket came from a ThredUp rescue box. This sold for $13 to the buyer. There was no shipping discount attached to it, which was $10.05 after Poshmark fees. After the cost of goods, $8.05. This Loft blue and white floral or paisley dress came from, of course, free inventory. It sold for $20 to the buyer. There was no shipping discount attached to it. And that means I got $16 of profit into my pocket. Now, interesting thing with this, I was starting to play around with titles. This is the only item in the entire month that had a shortened title, which of course I will put a picture along here, but it was just simply Loft dress. That was it. But everything else I've had pretty normal lengthy titles and they were selling just fine. So I know that we're playing around with different things. I don't know that the title really is it. Now I did go to the fireside chat. Of course I did make a quick video of it. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. It essentially, they were telling us that we needed to focus on using everything available to us. So making sure that our brand is tagged, making sure that we're using the keyword tags, making sure we're using the color tags. They essentially want us to fill everything out, making sure size is right, whatnot. And that is really what's going to help us make sales. But really they kind of said, it's a guessing game. Find out what works for you. It's a business. You need to take ownership of your own stuff. This black and nude pair of wireless, like almost sports bras, lounge bras. These came from a Quick Lots general merchandise half pallet. These sold for $10 to the buyer. There was no shipping discount attached to it. That gave me $7.05. I estimated my cost of goods to be roughly $3 on that. So if we're doing math here, 7 minus 3 doesn't give me very much. This Loft blue and white button-up long blouse came from, of course, free inventory. This sold for $17 to the buyer with free shipping discount attached to it, which gave me $5.93. This shirt was actually featured in one of my other videos. Every time I wear something in a video, I always link it down below, and a viewer actually did purchase this from this link, so I so appreciate that. By the way, the dress that I'm wearing right now is Trina Turk. It is, of course, linked below if you're interested. This Primark pale yellow blouse came from the free inventory that I got with all the different Loft stuff. This sold for $11. There was no shipping discount attached to it, so that gave me $8.05 of profit to reinvest. This Loft Aztec dress came from, what do you know, free inventory. This sold for $20 to the buyer. There was no shipping discount attached to it, so that gave me $16 of profit. This Loft Chambray blouse was actually featured in another one of my videos. I don't think it was a viewer who purchased this one, but this sold for $19. There was a shipping discount attached to it from Posher VA, which gave me $7.53. Now this cream lace bra with interchangeable straps came from a Quick Let's Amazon palette, which I got about a year ago now. I estimated my cost of goods to be about 50 cents for that, but I've made way more than my money back on this. So it almost feels like free inventory at this point. This sold for $52. Now, I was skeptical that it sold for $52 at start because it was pretty cheap. I mean, it's Amazon quality, but I went ahead and shipped it out. I did wait a day just to make sure that it wasn't like an accidental purchase and somebody was going to cancel it. I did say, hey, you know, getting ready to ship this out. Didn't really hear anything. So I'm like, okay, maybe they, you know, they really were wanting to spend $52. I thought it was more like a $10 piece, if you will. But when they did end up receiving the item, they did open up a case saying that it was much cheaper quality than they were expecting, so on and so forth. I didn't disagree with them by any means. However, I have learned on cases to just not say anything, to just keep my mouth shut unless I completely disagree. And that usually works out in my favor. What ended up happening was Poshmark sided on both sides. So they refunded the buyer. The buyer was able to keep the bra. And I also received my payout, which actually that happens more often than not. I have only had one item actually returned to me, and it really was a mistake on my end. So I completely accepted that. Everything else, if you just completely stay quiet, or at least in my experience, they end up siding with both sides, which I guess is what that 20% is used for. They just take it out of that money. So while Poshmark has been getting a lot of slack for their search engine and whatnot, I'm appreciative of things like that. This Old Navy vintage wash sweater dress came from free inventory. I didn't want to let it go for the price that it did, but I just wanted to make some sales in the month of April. This did end up selling for $9. There was no shipping discount attached to it, so I ended up getting $6.05 of profit. It did have the tags. It was super cute. Again, I just wanted to make a sale. I was desperate to make sales. This Loft long sleeve cross neck dress came from, of course, free inventory. This sold for $27. There was no shipping discount attached to it. That gave me $21.60 of profit. This Brooks Brothers shirt came from my boyfriend just cleaning out his closet. It sold for $15. There was no shipping discount attached to it, which gave me $12 minus the 50-50 split, gave me $6 of profit. These Gap 3-inch inseam denim distressed hem shorts came from free inventory, of course. These sold for $10. There was no shipping discount attached to it, so that gave me $7.05 of profit to reinvest. This Loft light blue floral high neck dress sold for $19 to the buyer. Now this is something that the buyer and myself went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. We finally landed on $19. I was almost at the point of just declining offers because there was just so much back and forth and it didn't seem like we were gonna meet in the middle. I ended up just saying $19, $19, $19 every time they counter offered, and of course they eventually went ahead and accepted that. This came from free inventory, no shipping discount attached to it. It's gave me $15.20 of profit. The reason why I was going back and forth so much on it is because I think the original price tag was like $128. So they were trying to get it for like $8 and I'm like, not so much. Plus I kind of wanted to keep it, to be honest. The very last item that sold in the month of April, specifically to Poshmark, was a My Michelle polka dot flounce skirt. Now I had to research this. My Michelle is a Penny's brand, or a JCPenney's brand. So if you can imagine the quality of it, this sold for $17 to the buyer. There was no shipping discount discount attached to it, that gave me $13.60 minus the $2 cost of goods because it was thread up. So that gave me $11.60. Now, in total, my profits that I got back into my pocket was $485.42. If you remember, my profit in the month of March was $630. So obviously April did not do as well as March by any means. The $630 really is my typical profit that I make as a part-time reseller. I don't focus entirely that much time on it. So for me, that feels good to make about, $600 or so a month on one specific platform. But knowing that I got $485 doesn't make me feel so great. So of course, I have been focusing on other platforms, focusing on cross-listing to other platforms to make sure that my sales are up overall, because Poshmark doesn't seem to be doing it right now. But I am of course listing to make sure I'm doing everything that I can to make that little sliver of money for me to reinvest into further inventory, stocks, cryptocurrency, and continue to grow. Now at this point, if you watched to this end of this video, I so appreciate you. If you have not subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It allows my videos to show up on your homepage as well as the homepage of others, and it allows us to continue to learn and grow together.